Hola amigos, amigas, ¿qué tal? Today I'm going to show you how I use a piece of software called Audacity to help me when I'm listening to Spanish. And the way Audacity can help me the most is it gives me much better control over the segment of the audio that I'm listening to. As compared to, say, listening directly with YouTube or some of the other audio controllers that are out there. And it has a particular bonus as well in that it enables me, if I want to write down what I've heard into the software under the track. Let me show you what I mean. All right, to get started then, we need a piece of audio, and I've selected from one of Ollie Richards' courses. This is the Spanish Uncovered course, and what I'll do is I'm going to take myself down to the very last chapter of this course because it might be just a bit harder, and I'm going to find the bit where you can listen to, this chapter here, the last chapter, La Prueba. All right, so if I just click here and play.
Capítulo 20. La prueba. Los tres amigos viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Well, I've got a bit of control. I've got a bit of control here. If I right click, I can change the speed. I can slow it down. I don't encourage slowing down though. I used to slow things down to listen to them, and okay, I get that I've moved on in my ability to understand spoken Spanish, especially if it's a bit faster. I'm by no means at advanced level. There's still quite a lot I'm figuring out. So if you need to slow down what you're hearing, look, that's fine. But what I'm going to show you is an alternative to that, which may work really well for you. I hope it does. And then, because I don't think the problem is that the Spanish is too fast. I think the problem is that we receive too much of it and we're unable to just listen to small amounts, and that's where Audacity comes in useful. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to download this audio so that I can play it in Audacity. So click the download button, and now I'm given the option to download Capítulo 20 as audio, and that's doing its thing. By the way, if you're on Windows, up here, if you click and then click this folder, it reopens the folder where you downloaded it, and here it is here. And now I will use Audacity to open this chapter. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to use open with Audacity because it's not my default player, but there we go. Anyway, you open it with Audacity. And here's Audacity opened up. I'll make this full screen. And what you've got here is a waveform, which is the analog representation of the audio. And if I hit the play button, you'll see this cursor start to move.
Capítulo 20. La prueba. Los tres amigos viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
All right, so what we've got now is a really good visual representation of the audio track. Now, just to make this easier, I'm going to make it a little larger by dragging on the bottom here. But the other thing is it's very compressed. We're going from 0 to nearly 3 minutes here, all on the screen. And I'm just going to be focusing on the first minute or so. So to make it easier to see what's going on, I'm going to hit the zoom button here, the zoom tool, click on here a few times, so that there's more of an opening between the waveforms. Might even do it one more time. Yep, that will do me there. If I want to reverse what I've just done, if I hold down the Shift key, you'll see in the magnifying glass, the plus sign turns into a negative sign. And so then when I click, I start to compress it all again. All right, so anyway, let's go back there, open it up a bit. There we go, that's all good. And now having done that, I'll go back to using my selection tool, the thing that I can move around for selecting the waveform. All right, now I want to go back to the front. I can move my waveform there, get myself back to the front, and now when I place the cursor there, and that's right at the beginning, there's some silence there, but I hit play.
Capítulo 20. La prueba.
Okay, so as you can see, these waveforms represent what you're hearing. And now you can select those waveforms by dragging. I'm clicking and dragging, and I've now just selected that. And when I play,
Capítulo 20.
that's all I get.
Capítulo 20.
Okay, so I can hear that really well.
Capítulo 20.
And in fact, if I wanted to echo or mimic that, capítulo.
Capítulo 20.
Capítulo 20. Capítulo 20.
Capítulo 20.
Capítulo. Quite hard to say, isn't it? You know, it's so simple. Capítulo 20. All right?
Capítulo 20.
And then having done that, I can now click and listen to the next bit.
La prueba.
La prueba. Also a difficult word. All right, now let's listen. Let's just check out this next bit here.
Los tres amigos viajan de vuelta a Swansea y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
All right, so to me, that phrase is a classic example of, there's so much there, and I would be tempted to slow it down. What I'll do is I'll just select the whole thing. I'm just dragging with my cursor here. I'm playing it again.
Los tres amigos viajan de vuelta a Swansea y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Okay, now, so the first bit there, I think I've got that pretty well, actually.
Los tres amigos.
Okay, and if I select it, you're probably okay with that as well. Los tres amigos.
Los tres amigos.
Okay, so that's fine. So now if I click here, let's listen from there.
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
What?
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Viajan de vuelta
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
a Swansea. Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Okay, and then...
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
All right, I'm just going to select that whole thing again.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Notice how it just stops at the end of that when I've selected it like that. So useful.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Y caminan
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
a las
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
coordenadas. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an extra really useful thing that Audacity can do. And that is, instead of me bouncing around selecting all these, if I select the entire audio, so I'm going to select the whole track by just selecting it and then doing a Control A like that, and you notice the whole thing is now lit up. And now if I go to Analyze and Sound Finder, and here are my settings. I may have just tweaked them slightly from the default settings. So I'm just going to leave that up there so you can see my settings. But here's the magic. When I click OK, an extra track called a label track has been added to the whole thing. I'll make it a little larger. That's by dragging on it. All right. And each section of the audio has now been divided up. And to begin with, it's just been given a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And what can happen if I want to select, say, this section here, if I just go click there on 4 and then enter, and now I can just play that bit.
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Viajan
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
de vuelta a Swansea. Viajan, they traveled. Viajan a vuelta. Is that they returned to Swansea?
Viajan de vuelta a Swansea.
Okay, they returned to Swansea. Okay, after a few repeats, I get it. Now the next track, if I just click on that there, now I just have to hit enter because otherwise I'm editing that label. But now I've got that, and I would just think to hit the space bar.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Wow. Y caminan?
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
It's quite hard, isn't it? Alrighty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click down here on this label track, and I'm going to type in what I heard. Y caminan. This helps me. Caminan. So that means and they walked, right? Now I'll hit enter again. Play again.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Y caminan a las. Forgive me if you've got it really easily. Just hit enter and then play again. I'm just using the space bar to play now.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Oh no, it's hacia las. Listen to that.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Ah, right, okay. See how this works? Don't know if you noticed that, but okay, I only just did hacia and walk towards hacia. So I'm going to type that in. And so somehow just being able to write this down like this helps, or it's the repetition. Look, while I'm here, I'm just going to show you another trick. Another option, instead of hitting play over and over, is to do loop play. See there it says loop play? Oh, there it goes. If I push down the shift button, you'll notice this play turns into this loopy thing. And now what? When I click this now...
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas. Y caminan hacia las coordenadas. Y caminan hacia las coordenadas. Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Until...
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Yeah.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Thank you. Okay, until you go mad. I just used stop. In fact, the hacia las came out far more clearly then. Now notice I'm not slowing it down. Okay, this is my discipline is not to slow it down if I can avoid it. And so I'm still working on this. Okay, y caminan hacia las, and then I think it was coordenadas or something now, right?
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Las coordenadas?
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Coordenadas. Now, I don't know what... I'm going to write down what I think I hear. It's like I don't know this word. Coordenadas. I'm going to guess that it's coordinates, but I don't know. I've got no idea. But I'm just going to go with that for the moment, all right? Because the whole idea also is to kind of like listen and guess what words you're hearing. All right, let's just do the next bit, which I can do by just selecting there, and then I just hit enter, and then...
Las coordenadas.
Okay, las
coordenadas.
Las coordenadas, yeah, what about them? Maybe... Now, to move to the next track, if I go tab, and then tab again, you'll notice it's moved, and then enter, and then play with the space bar.
Llevan a una mansión enorme.
Llevan
a una mansión enorme.
A una mansión enorme. Okay, so this... Okay, let's coordinates. Llevan arrived. Llevan a una mansión... Something, was it grande? This is also quite good for your short-term memory. Enorme, wasn't it? Enorme, I think it was. Enorme. Doesn't matter if I get it wrong.
Llevan a una mansión enorme.
Okay. Coordinates. I wonder, are they a type of people or something? Don't know. Okay, I'm going to move to the next track. Tab. So hit enter. Now go tab, tab, enter, play.
Que tiene una entrada muy grande.
Which had que tiene una entrada muy grande.
Que tiene una entrada muy grande.
Okay, that's pretty easy for me. I won't write that down. I'll just move on to the next bit. Tab, enter, play.
Cuando llegan allí.
Cuando llegan allí.
Cuando llegan allí.
When they arrived there. Tab, enter.
La puerta se abre sola.
La puerta se abre sola. The door.
La puerta se abre sola.
Okay, opened by itself. Tab, and enter and play.
En el hall de la mansión.
En el what?
En el hall de la mansión. En el hall de la mansión. En el hall de la mansión.
Hall. En el hall de la mansión.
En el hall de la mansión. En el hall de la mansión.
I don't know what that word is. It's not hall. It's going to start with J, I see it. Hall? I've got no idea what that is. I'm going to just put that, type that down there. Hall. Yeah, this is a bit messy, isn't it? The struggling is good. All right, at this stage, I'll just stop. I'm going to save what I've got here. It came in as an MP3. I'm going to save it as a project. It will probably just save as Capitulo 20, but it will save in using Audacity's sort of project settings. So I'll do it like that. It's going to say, Capitulo 20 AUP, which means Audacity project. All right. And I'm going to put it into that folder there. All right. So, because that will save the things that I've written there. All right, I'm just going to now have a look at the script and see how I was doing. So let's pop away from here and let's have a look here. Okay, los tres amigos viajan de vuelta a Swansea y caminan hacia las coordenadas. Las coordenadas llevan a una mansión enorme que tiene una entrada muy grande, ¿ya? Cuando llegan allí, la puerta se abre sola, ¿ya? En el hall. Okay, is that some sort of Spanglish? It is hall of the mansion, and we haven't heard the rest of it. Okay, coordenadas. Hacia las coordenadas. You may know what that means. I don't. I'm just gonna copy that and head over to good old Spanish dict and pop it in and see what we've got here. Control V. Coordenadas. Coordinate. I've got to guess that they were given some GPS coordinates and they were heading towards them. Duh. All right, so coordenadas is probably GPS coordinates, and they arrive. Okay, so anyway, you're seeing. Now, look, what's good here is I do have a script to guide me, and that's why I particularly used this one, but I'm doing as much listening as I can before I refer to the script to see, what's going on. And this phrase here, viajan a vuelta a Swansea y caminan hacia las coordenadas. Hacia was quite lost, but now if I listen back to that again in Audacity, I'm sure it was this one here, right? I'll click on there. Notice how that works, and then I just press enter to deselect the writing track, but I've still got the audio track. Let's listen to that again now.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Okay, that hacia, it kind of sticks out now. Well, not quite, but it's there.
Y caminan hacia las coordenadas.
Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to show you about Audacity and how useful it can be. Now, I've got my head around some of the controls here. It can take a little while to do that, but I trust that this has inspired you enough to get a sense of, yeah, this could be a useful tool for me and get you started with it. Okay, so there you go. That's Audacity. Now, what you'll have noticed is I'm using my laptop, or I'm using a computer to do this. This is not happening on a phone or on an iPad, and I don't believe Audacity is available for mobile devices. Also, for me, I've found that my work ethic is higher, is greater if I'm actually at a computer, as opposed to kind of sitting back and lounging a little bit with a phone or with an iPad. Now, this is just me, but when I've got a computer, as it were, in front of me, I'm more in the work mode, that just suits me just fine in terms of using Audacity. But there it is. It's free software. It's quite versatile. Versatility comes with complications, but once you've figured those out and got more familiar with it, I trust you'll find it an incredibly useful tool, as I do, for really helping me improve my ability to listen and to make the most of the audios that are so available these days via the internet. So, hasta pronto. Ojalá que tu español vaya a mejorar como para resultado de escuchar de mi video. I think that was more or less correct. Adios, amigos.